That's the obvious question. That's where the risk arises.
You mean over tea when you go home and have a yarn?
So this was a quotation. Yeah. This was a quotation for services for 2 individuals based on for the next 6 months utilising their services. That's what the quotation was on for services of 2 individuals on saying for the next 6 months what would it cost, and that was the quotation that was negotiated by another AirServices staff. That quotation came in.
That wasn't my question though. I'm sorry. In respect of the negotiations, this is a matter that's been traversed by Senator Bullock as well. What safeguards, what guarantees were there that the information between the related parties on different sides of the negotiating fence was not in any way conveyed to them, that there wasn't any leak of information, because that to me would pose a very serious issue. Will you agree with that?
Senator,
do you agree with the proposition that there's a potential there for a significant conflict, that while they're involved in negotiations, because they're husband and wife on the opposite sides of the commercial fence, there's a potential there for information to be leaked from one to the other? I'm not saying it was, but how do you deal with that?
So, Senator, can I just determine what negotiation are we talking about? We're not talking about one Sky negotiation. We're not talking anything to do with this. This was a quotation for services for 2 individuals for the next 6 months. So sorry? Off the top of my head, I think it was for the 2 individuals. I think it might be for, in total, I think it was about $800,000 for the services of 2 individual over, I think it was 6 to 12 months. I have to take it on notice.
The person at the back of the room just said to me, and by the way, I went home and saw Mummy tonight and said, by the way, I signed off that thing $800,000 worth of, I sent it up the line for you today.
Senator, they did not sign off the approval for $800,000.
No,
what I'm getting at is that, for
example, signed off. Yeah, I get what you're getting at. Say it again.
So what I'm getting at is that, for example, if you went out and said, I want the services of 2 individuals I need a quote on how much that would be, you get a quote. That quote came in, and the discussion about that quote was another AirServices employee. That quote came in, and therefore then the individual signed off that quote and sent it to the financial delegate to whether it would be approved or not. That is what has actually occurred.
It's got a bad smell, hasn't it?
The thing is that, as I said, there is a perception thing, and that has been reviewed on making sure.
So you wouldn't do it this way again, would you?
Absolutely not, Senator.
That's the main thing.
Senator,
we'll make mistakes as long as we learn from them.
We won't, and